Hello guys, how are you all? Welcome back to my channel. So, today we are gonna see, what if Goku joins the Avengers? Subscribe if you enjoy the video. And also check the description. So let's begin the story. The sky above Manhattan screamed, not metaphorically. Not in some poetic sense that writers use when they're feeling dramatic. The actual sky, the atmosphere, the fabric of space-time itself, screamed like metal tearing, like reality was a piece of paper being ripped in half by careless hands. Goku didn't have time to think about it. 1 second he was on Beerus's planet, sweat pouring down his face as Whis circled him with that infuriatingly calm expression. The angel's staff had just tapped the ground. Once. Twice. The signal to begin the next drill. Your form is sloppy today, Goku, Whis had said, his voice carrying that perpetual note of disappointment that made even a Super Saiyan god feel like a kid who forgot his homework. Let's try this again, and this time, perhaps you could actually. Then the universe broke. The sensation hit Goku like a freight train made of lightning and broken glass. His ki flared involuntarily, golden aura exploding around him as every instinct screamed danger. But this wasn't an attack. This was something else. Something wrong. A tear opened in the air beside him. Not a portal. Not a technique. Just wrongness. A gash in existence that shouldn't be. It looked like someone had taken a knife to a painting, except the painting was the cosmos, and the knife was made of screaming void. What the? Goku started. Gravity inverted. He was falling sideways, upward, in every direction at once. His stomach lurched. The world became a kaleidoscope of fractured colors and impossible angles. He heard Whis shout something, saw the angel's staff glow with divine light, reaching for him. Too late. The rift swallowed Goku whole. For a moment, or an eternity, time had no meaning in the space between spaces. He tumbled through nothing. Not darkness. Not void. Just absence. The complete lack of anything. His ki sputtered and flared, trying to find something to push against, but there was no up or down, no air or ground or... Then he hit something solid. The 47th floor of Stark Tower had been having a pretty normal Tuesday. Accounting department. 17 people shuffling papers, typing emails, drinking coffee that tasted like disappointment and corporate merger. Sarah Chin was 3 hours into her shift and already planning her lunch order. Marcus Williams was explaining for the 4th time why the Henderson account needed reclassification. Nobody was thinking about alien invasions or interdimensional breaches. Why would they? The city had been quiet for 6 months. No Chitauri. No killer robots. No Norse gods throwing tantrums. Just normal New York chaos. Traffic, rats, overpriced bagels. The Avengers were doing whatever Avengers did between world-ending catastrophes. Probably press conferences and arguing about who ate the last shawarma. Then the wall exploded. Not from outside in. From inside out. Like someone had set off a bomb in the middle of the office, except instead of fire and shrapnel, there was just a guy. A guy in an orange and blue GI with absolutely ridiculous hair, tumbling through the air at about 60 miles per hour, wrapped in golden light that burned retinas and set off every alarm in the building simultaneously. Goku's trajectory carried him through 3 cubicles, 2 support pillars, and Sarah Chin's desk before he finally skidded to a stop in what used to be the break room. The refrigerator exploded. Coffee machines detonated. The microwave did something that physics really didn't want to talk about. For a moment, absolute silence. Then the screaming started. Goku groaned, pushing himself up from the crater he'd made in the floor. His head spun. His stomach churned. Instant transmission felt nothing like that. That had been like getting flushed down the universe's toilet, while someone punched him in the soul. Ow, he said eloquently. Around him, chaos erupted. People ran. Sirens wailed. Somewhere, someone was crying. Goku blinked, trying to focus. Where was he? This wasn't Beerus's planet. Definitely not Earth, his Earth, anyway. The architecture was wrong. The energy signatures were all unfamiliar. He stood up, brushing drywall dust from his GI. Sorry about that. He called to the fleeing office workers. Didn't mean to. Is everyone okay? They didn't stick around to answer. Goku scratched his head, confused. Why were they running? He hadn't even powered up. Then he noticed a hole in the building. 3 holes, actually. Big ones? Leading from where he'd come from to where he was now. Oh man, he muttered. Chi-Chi's gonna kill me. Again. 17 seconds after impact, Jarvis registered the intrusion. 19 seconds after impact, every Avenger within a 100-mile radius got the alert. 23 seconds after impact, Iron Man was in the air. Tony Stark had been in his workshop, elbows deep in a propulsion system that was definitely going to work this time, when the alarm started screaming. His coffee mug, which had been precariously balanced on a pile of technical readouts, toppled and shattered. Jarvis, report, he snapped, already moving toward the armor assembly. Unknown intrusion detected on floor 47, sir. The AI's British accent somehow made catastrophe sound civilized. The energy signature is problematic. Problematic how? It exceeds all previously recorded metrics by a factor of. The holographic display exploded with numbers. Tony stopped moving. Stopped breathing. That can't be right. I've run the diagnostics 7 times, sir. The readings are accurate. Whatever penetrated the building is generating power output comparable to a small star. Terrorists don't have access to small stars, Jarvis. No, sir. Which is why I've classified this as a Code Omega. Tony's blood went cold. Code Omega. Reserved for world-ending threats. Thanos-level problems. Things that made Loki's New York invasion look like a traffic dispute. Get me Thor. Get me Cap, get me everyone. Already done, sir. Captain Rogers is en route. Thor is, actually, I'm not certain where Thor is at the moment. Asgard? Possibly intoxicated, sir, Tony sighed. Of course he is. The armor assembled around him, piece by piece, magnetic locks engaging with satisfying clicks. What about our mystery guest? Still on 47? Affirmative. The entity appears to be stationary. Stationary. A cosmic-level threat just crashed through my building and now it's just standing there? So it would seem, sir. Tony rocketed toward his own tower, repulsors screaming. Through the HUD, he pulled up every scanner available. Thermal imaging showed a human-shaped figure. Radiation detectors were going haywire but couldn't pin down a source. Energy scanners were just displaying error messages and what might have been electronic sobbing. He landed on floor 47 in full combat mode, repulsors charged and ready. The scene was surreal. Destroyed office. Terrified workers evacuating down the stairwells. Emergency sprinklers creating an indoor rainstorm. And standing in the middle of it all, looking bewildered and apologetic, was a man in what appeared to be martial arts training clothes, with really stupid hair. Okay, Tony said, voice modulator making him sound appropriately intimidating. I'm going to need you to put your hands up and explain why you just turned my accounting department into abstract art. Goku turned. His eyes widened. Whoa! Cool armor. Not the response Tony expected. Thanks? I guess? Now about the structural damage. Is this Earth? Goku interrupted, looking around with genuine curiosity. It looks like Earth, but the energy feels different. Am I on Earth? Tony's finger hovered over the repulsor trigger. This guy was either the best actor in the universe or genuinely confused. You crashed through 47 floors of my building and you don't even know what planet you're on. I didn't crash through 47 floors. Goku counted on his fingers. More like 3? Maybe 4? The building has 96 floors. You came in at 47. Oh. Then yeah, just a few. He smiled. Genuinely smiled. Like he hadn't just committed what most governments would classify as an act of war. Sorry about that. There was this weird tear in space and I got sucked through and... He paused. Wait, where's Whis? Who's Whis? My teacher. He was right there when the portal thing happened. Jarvis spoke directly into Tony's ear. Sir, Captain Rogers has arrived. He's requesting permission to enter. Tell him to bring backup, Tony muttered. To Goku. Okay, Mr. Goku. Son Goku. But everyone just calls me Goku. Right. Goku. I'm going to need you to come with me and answer some questions. Peacefully. Calmly. Without destroying any more of my very expensive building. Goku nodded enthusiastically. Sure. But do you have any food? I'm starving. That portal thing was rough and I haven't eaten since breakfast and... Food? Yeah. You know, rice, meat, vegetables, anything really. I'm not picky, Tony stared. His threat assessment algorithms were having a complete meltdown. Power levels off the charts. Casual about property destruction. Wanted snacks. This was either the most dangerous being he'd ever encountered or the universe's weirdest lost puppy. Possibly both. Steve Rogers arrived 6 minutes after the initial impact, shield on his back, expecting a war zone. What he found was Tony Stark having what appeared to be a conversation about pizza toppings with their intruder. Not saying pineapple ruins pizza, the stranger was saying, gesturing animatedly. I'm just saying I've never tried it. Is it good? That's not the point, Tony replied, sounding exasperated. The point is, Steve. Thank God. Please tell me you brought the cavalry. Steve assessed the situation in seconds. Destroyed office. One unknown combatant. Tony in full armor but not actively fighting. Civilians evacuated. No immediate violence. Still. Something felt wrong. The stranger turned, and Steve's enhanced senses screamed. It was subtle. Nothing obvious. But there was a pressure in the air around this man, like standing next to a coiled spring that might explode at any second. Raw potential energy barely contained. Captain, Steve said, voice level. I'm going to need you to step away from Iron Man. Goku blinked. Captain? Like a ship captain? And wait, he looked at Tony. You're Iron Man? Is that your name or are you made of iron? Because that'd be pretty cool. It's a suit, Tony said flatly. I'm not actually made of iron. Oh. That makes more sense. Steve's hand moved toward his shield. Sir, I need you to comply. Put your hands where I can see them. Sure. Goku raised his hands. Like this? Yes. Now, guys. Tony's voice had gone very quiet. Very serious. Jarvis is still getting those readings. Whatever this man is, he's packing enough power to level Manhattan. Multiple times. Goku's eyebrows shot up. Multiple times? That's a lot. I'd never destroy a city on purpose though. Well, except that one time with Beerus, but that was... Wait, that's not helping, is it? Not really, no, Steve said. He'd faced down aliens, Nazis, and killer robots. Stay calm. Project Authority. We're going to need you to come with us. Peacefully. There are questions that need answering. I already said yes to that, Goku pointed out reasonably. But seriously, is there food? Because I really am. The elevator dinged. Natasha Romanoff stepped out, gun already drawn, taking in the scene with those calculating eyes that had intimidated terrorists and dictators. Behind her, Clint Barton had an arrow nocked, bowstring taut. Situation? Natasha asked. Unclear, Steve replied. Possible Code Omega threat. Claims to be lost. Lost, Clint repeated skeptically. Lost people don't usually crash through skyscrapers. I said I was sorry about that. Goku protested. It's not like I meant to. There was this dimensional rift thing and... Dimensional rift, Natasha interrupted. Her gun hadn't wavered. You're claiming to be from another dimension. Maybe? Honestly, I'm not super clear on the details. Whis would know better, but he's... Goku looked around again. Wait, where am I exactly? New York City, Tony supplied. Earth. Sol System. Milky Way Galaxy. Need me to keep going? New York? Goku's face brightened. Oh. I've heard of that. Satan City's kind of like that, right? Big buildings, lots of people? Four Avengers exchanged glances. Who, Steve said carefully, is Satan City? It's where Hercule Satan lives. You know, the world martial arts champion? Goku looked at their blank faces. The guy who defeated Cell? Except he didn't really. But the people think he did, and you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, do you? Not even a little bit, Clint confirmed. Natasha lowered her weapon. Slightly. Tony, what are we dealing with? Honestly? No idea. Scanners are having a nervous breakdown. He claims to be from another dimension, references people and places that don't exist, and wants to discuss food. I'm really hungry, Goku added helpfully. And the power readings? Natasha pressed. Tony hesitated. Biblical. That one word changed the atmosphere. Natasha's finger moved back to the trigger. Clint's arrow aimed center mass. Steve's hand closed around his shield. Goku noticed. Guys? Why are you all suddenly looking at me like I'm dangerous? Are you? Steve asked bluntly. I mean, Goku considered this. I can be dangerous. If I need to be. If bad guys are hurting people. But I'm not going to hurt you. You seem nice. That's reassuring, Clint muttered. In a really not reassuring kind of way, Jarvis interrupted. Sir, I'm detecting an energy surge. The subject's power output is increasing. I'm not doing anything, Goku said quickly. Then paused. Oh, wait. I'm probably still leaking ki a little. Sorry, let me just. He took a breath. Relaxed his shoulders. Every alarm in the building stopped screaming. The pressure in the air, that barely contained something that had been setting everyone's nerves on edge, just disappeared. Like someone had flipped a switch. The readings on Tony's HUD dropped from apocalyptic to barely measurable in under 2 seconds. Okay, Tony said slowly. That's new. Better? Goku asked. You just suppressed enough energy to power New York for a year like it was turning down a radio, Natasha observed. So either you have incredible control or, oh, I've been training for a long time, Goku said cheerfully. Can't go around with my ki flaring all the time. Scares people. Plus Chi-Chi says it's rude. Who's Chi-Chi? My wife. She's great. Really strong. Hits harder than most fighters I know. He said this with obvious pride. Steve lowered his shield. Fractionally. You're married. Yep. Got 2 kids too. Well, 3 if you count Goten, but he's not really actually, no, he is a kid. 2 kids. The cognitive dissonance was staggering. This man, this thing that registered as a walking natural disaster, was talking about his family like a suburban dad at a barbecue. Okay, Tony said, decision made. New plan. We're taking this downstairs. Conference room. Food will be provided. We're going to have a very long conversation about who you are, where you came from, and why my building looks like a meteor hit it. Food sounds great. Goku agreed immediately. But first, Steve added, voice hard, weapons check. I need to know if you're armed. Goku looked down at himself. I've got my Jai. And my boots. That's it. No weapons? Don't really need them, Goku said honestly. I mostly just fight with my hands and ki. Ki, Natasha repeated. Which is life energy. Everyone has it, but most people can't use it consciously. Takes training. Lots of training. Want me to show you? And oh, 4 Avengers said simultaneously. Okay. Goku raised his hands again. No demonstrations. Got it. They escorted him to the elevator, Natasha in front, Clint behind, Steve and Tony flanking. Standard containment formation for a potentially hostile target. Goku seemed oblivious, humming something under his breath. The elevator descended in tense silence. Then Goku's stomach growled, loudly, like a tiger with digestive problems. Sorry, he said, not sounding sorry at all. I really haven't eaten since breakfast. When was breakfast? Tony asked despite himself. Like 6 hours ago? Maybe 7? That's not that long. It is when you burn through calories as fast as I do. The elevator dinged. Doors opened to the Avengers common area. Normally reserved for team meetings, strategy sessions, and the occasional poker night. Today, it would serve as an interrogation room, and possibly a cafeteria. Jarvis, Tony commanded. Order food. Lots of food. All the food. How much is all, sir? Tony looked at Goku, who was staring at the windows with childlike wonder. Double whatever you think is reasonable. Then triple it. Very good, sir. They sat. Or rather, the Avengers positioned themselves strategically around the table, while Goku plopped down in a chair like he owned it. So Steve began. Let's start simple. What's your full name, Son Goku? But like I said, everyone just. Origin? Originally planet Vegeta. But I grew up on Earth. My Earth. Not this Earth, apparently. Occupation? I'm a farmer. And a martial artist. And I guess a savior of the world? That's happened a few times. Natasha leaned forward. Explain. And Goku, in his enthusiastic, completely unself-conscious way, did. He talked about Raditz and Vegeta and the Saiyan invasion. About Namek and Frisia and going Super Saiyan for the first time. About the androids and Cell and his son defeating the perfect being while he was dead. Wait, Clint interrupted. You were dead? Oh yeah? A few times actually, and you got better. Sure. Dragon Balls brought me back. Well, except the time I chose to stay dead, but then I came back anyway for a tournament, and it's complicated. Dragon Balls, Tony said faintly. Yeah. You collect all 7 and they grant wishes. Any wish. It's pretty handy. They stared. He continued. Majin Buu. Battle of Gods. Beerus the Destroyer and nearly getting Earth obliterated because the God of Destruction didn't like the pudding. Training with Whis. Universe 6 Tournament. Goku Black and the Future Timeline. The Tournament of Power where he fought alongside warriors from 8 other universes. 8 other universes, Natasha repeated. Well, 12 total. But 4 got erased already. Erased. Yeah. The Omni Kings didn't like them anymore, so Goku made a poof gesture. Silence descended like a lead blanket. Steve spoke first. You're telling us that in your reality, there are beings capable of erasing entire universes on a whim. Yep. And you've met them. Yep. They're actually pretty fun. We're friends. Friends, Tony said. With universe-destroying gods. They're not bad guys. Goku protested. They're just really powerful and kind of bored. The implications were staggering. If even half of what this man said was true, and the power readings suggested it might be, then they were dealing with something so far beyond their weight class that weight classes became meaningless. The portal that brought you here, Natasha redirected. Can you recreate it? Goku's expression fell. I don't think so. It wasn't me that made it. Something else broke. Something went wrong. He looked troubled. Whis was reaching for me. I saw his staff. Maybe he can fix it, but I don't know how to contact him from here. Could it open again? Steve asked. Could more beings like you come through? Maybe? I really don't know. Goku scratched his head. Whis knows more about dimensional stuff. I mostly just punch things. Clearly, Tony muttered, pulling up holographic displays showing the damage estimates. $17 million. So far. A knock on the door interrupted. 2 staff members wheeled in carts loaded with food. Burgers, pizzas, Chinese takeout, sandwiches, pasta. Jarvis had interpreted all of the food literally. Goku's eyes lit up like Christmas morning. What followed was less eating and more controlled demolition of nutrition. Goku didn't just eat, he consumed. Burgers disappeared in single bites. Pizza slices vanished 3 at a time. He paused only to say this is great. Before continuing his one-man assault on the food supply, the Avengers watched in horrified fascination. Is he even chewing? Clint whispered. I don't think so, Natasha whispered back. 15 minutes later, the carts were empty. Goku leaned back, satisfied. Thanks. That was good. Not as good as Chi-Chi's cooking, but pretty good. Tony did math in his head. Goku had just consumed roughly 40,000 calories. Minimum. Okay, he said. I believe you. About what? Everything. The other Earth, the fighting gods, the multiple deaths, all of it. Why? Because nobody could make up something that insane. And also because you just ate enough food to feed a football team. Steve cleared his throat. The question now is, what do we do with you? Do with me? You're stranded here. From another dimension. With no obvious way home. That's complicated. Goku considered this. Yeah, I guess it is. Chi-Chi's definitely going to be mad. I was supposed to help with the radish harvest. The radish harvest, Natasha repeated slowly. That's your concern. Not being trapped in an alternate reality. The radish harvest. Well, I mean, I'll figure out the dimensional thing eventually. But those radishes aren't going to pick themselves. Before anyone could respond, Jarvis spoke. Sir, we have a situation. Tony's blood pressure spiked. What now? Military helicopters inbound. Armed forces deploying around the tower. I'm receiving communications from multiple government agencies demanding, and I quote, immediate surrender of the hostile entity. Through the windows, they could see them. black helicopters circling like vultures. Soldiers setting up positions on neighboring rooftops. The U.S. military, responding to a threat in downtown Manhattan. Goku stood, moving to the window. Huh. That's a lot of guys. They think you're dangerous, Steve said. I'm not. I already said. Gunfire erupted. Not aimed at the tower. Warning shots. A voice boomed through loudspeakers, distorted and authoritative. Attention Stark Tower. Surrender the intruder immediately or we will be forced to engage. They're not kidding around, Clint observed. Goku frowned. I don't want to fight them. They're just doing their jobs. Then let us handle this, Steve said firmly. Tony, can you? Already on it. Tony activated external speakers. This is Tony Stark. Stand down. The situation is under control. No hostile action is. A missile streaked toward the tower. Time slowed. Goku moved. 1 second he was by the window. The next he was outside the window. In midair. 90 floors up. His hand caught the missile, actually caught it, and redirected it skyward. It detonated harmlessly against the clouds. He floated there. Just floated. Suspended in empty air like gravity was a suggestion he'd chosen to ignore. Oh no, Tony breathed. Yeah, Natasha agreed. That's bad. Because now the entire U.S. military had just watched an unknown entity demonstrate flight, super speed, and the casual ability to intercept anti-tank weaponry. This was going to get worse before it got better. Goku, seemingly oblivious to the fact that he just escalated an already tense situation into a full-blown crisis, waved at the helicopters. Hi! He shouted. Sorry about the missile thing. It was going to hit the building. Get him back inside, Steve ordered. Now. Before more missiles launched. 6 this time. Different angles. Targeting Goku directly. He dodged them all without even trying. Weaving through the air like he was playing a game, expression more confused than concerned. Why are they shooting at me? He called back to the tower. I didn't do anything, Goku, Tony's voice boomed through external speakers. Get back inside. Oh. Okay. He actually flew, back through the window, landing lightly on the floor. Behind him, the missiles he dodged circled confused, before detonating against each other. I think I made it worse, Goku said. You think? Clint replied. Steve was already on the phone. This is Captain America. Authorization code Sierra Romeo 47. I need to speak with someone in command immediately. Pause. I don't care if the general is busy. Tell him if he doesn't stand down in the next 60 seconds, this situation will escalate beyond anyone's control. Outside, more military vehicles arrived. Tanks. Actual tanks. In downtown Manhattan. This is insane, Natasha muttered. Tony pulled up news feeds. Every major network was covering it. Live footage of the Manhattan incident. Speculation running wild. Some anchors calling it an alien invasion. Others suggesting terrorism. One conspiracy theorist claiming it was a rogue Avenger. We need to control this narrative, he said. Fast. Steve hung up. They're standing down. Temporarily. But we need to present Goku to the authorities. Prove he's not a threat. How? Clint asked. By having him juggle buildings? By vouching for him, Steve replied. The Avengers have credibility. We use it. You just met him 2 hours ago, Natasha pointed out. I've fought beside people I've known for less time. Sometimes you have to make judgment calls. They looked at Goku, who was staring at the news footage with fascination. Wow, I'm on TV. Chi-Chi's never going to believe this. Steve made his decision. Okay. Here's what we do. Tony, you reach out to S.H.I.E.L.D. S.H.I.E.L.D's gone, Tony reminded him. Then whoever replaced them. Natasha, work your contacts. Clint, perimeter security. I'll make a statement. We present Goku as, what? A displaced refugee? An interdimensional traveler? How about the truth? Goku suggested. I'm just a guy who got pulled through a portal and doesn't know how to get home. Steve studied him. This strange man with the ridiculous hair and the genuine smile. Who talked about universe-destroying gods like they were buddies. Who'd just caught a missile and seemed more concerned about property damage than his own safety. Yeah, Steve said finally. The truth might actually work. 17,000 light-years from Earth, on a ship that drifted in the void between galaxies, something stirred. Throne room. Obsidian and gold. Empty except for one figure seated in shadows. Thanos. The Mad Titan's eyes opened. For months he'd been searching. Hunting. Following whispers and rumors of the Infinity Stone's locations. His great work was nearly ready. The universe would soon understand his vision. Balance. Perfection. Half of all life erased so the other half could thrive. It was mercy. They would never understand, but it was mercy nonetheless. Then his sensor screamed. A power signature. New. Impossible. It had appeared on Earth, that backwater planet he'd already marked for the final stage of his plan, and it blazed. Not like the stones. Different. Raw. Unrefined. But massive. Ebony Maw drifted forward from the shadows. My lord, the readings, I see them. Thanos' voice was like grinding consonants. Should we investigate? The Titan stood. His armor clinked, a sound like death's footsteps. He moved to the viewport, staring out at the stars. Earth. That insignificant little world. Home to the Avengers. To those who dared defy him before. Now it held something new. Something that registered on his sensors as, what? A weapon? An entity? The readings were unlike anything in his databases. Not yet, Thanos decided. We observe. We learn. When the time comes to claim the stones, we will deal with whatever this anomaly is. And if it interferes with your great work, Thanos smiled. It was not a pleasant expression. Then we will teach it the meaning of inevitability. He returned to his throne. But his eyes never left the display. The power signature from Earth pulsed like a second sun. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. Epilogue. Night fell on New York. In Stark Tower, Goku stood at the window, looking out at the city lights. The Avengers had given him a room. Temporary accommodations, they said. Until they figured out what to do with him. Steve approached, 2 cups of coffee in hand. He offered one to Goku. Don't really drink coffee, Goku admitted. But thanks, Steve nodded, sipping his own. They stood in companionable silence. You miss them, Steve said finally. Your family. Yeah. Goku's expression was uncharacteristically serious. Gohan's probably worried. And Chi-Chi. Well, she's definitely yelling at Whis right now. If he's still there. If the portal thing didn't, he cut himself off. We'll find a way to get you home. I know. And hey, while I'm here, maybe I can help out. You guys seem like you fight a lot of bad guys. I'm pretty good at that. Steve smiled despite himself. Yeah. I got that impression. Plus, Goku added, brightness returning, your world has some really good food. That pizza stuff? Amazing. Wait until you try actual New York pizza. Not tower cafeteria food. There's better pizza? So much better. Goku's grin could have lit the room. Then this might not be so bad after all. Steve raised his coffee cup. To unexpected allies, Goku mimicked the gesture with his empty hand. To new friends, they didn't know it yet. Couldn't know it. But this moment, this meeting, would change everything. For Earth. For the Avengers. For the cosmic balance of an entire universe. Because Goku had arrived. And nothing would ever be the same. Somewhere in space, Thanos' sensors continued their surveillance. Somewhere in another dimension, Whis searched frantically for his missing student. Somewhere in the quantum foam of reality, the rift that had brought Goku here pulsed with fading energy. But in Stark Tower, a Saiyan and a super soldier stood together, looking out at a world neither of them could save alone. Together though, together they just might stand a chance. Tony Stark hadn't slept in 73 hours. This wasn't unusual. Insomnia was practically his superpower. But tonight, this morning, whatever the hell time it was, he had a reason. A beautiful, impossible, physics-defying reason that was currently sleeping in guest room 7. The holographic displays painted his workshop in electric blue. Data streams cascaded like waterfalls. Numbers that shouldn't exist. Energy signatures that made nuclear reactors look like AA batteries. Jarvis, Tony said, voice rough from too much coffee and not enough sanity. Run it again. Sir, I've run the simulation 47 times. The results remain consistent. Then they're wrong. Run it again. A pause. If an AI could sigh, Jarvis would have. Very good, sir. The hologram rebuilt itself. Goku's energy signature during the missile intercept, rendered in 3 dimensions. The data point blazed like a miniature sun, burning red-hot in the center of Tony's workshop. According to every law of physics Tony knew, and he knew them all, this was impossible. The energy output from a single movement. Catching that missile. Redirecting it. The calculations weren't adding up because they couldn't add up. Goku's body had generated enough kinetic force to stop a weapon traveling at Mach 2. Without technology. Without external power source. Just himself. Biological readings, Tony commanded. New display. Goku scanned from earlier. When they'd finally convinced him to step into the medical bay. Just for a checkup, Natasha had said in that voice she used when she wanted people to cooperate. Goku had shrugged. Sure. Doctors are nice. The scan had lasted 30 seconds before the machine had started smoking. Now Tony stared at the partial results. DNA structure that looked human but wasn't. Cell density that exceeded anything on record. Muscle tissue that somehow contained more mass than its volume should allow. He's rewriting biology just by existing, Tony muttered. Perhaps biology as we understand it is incomplete, Jarvis suggested. Oh, it's definitely incomplete. Question is whether I can figure out how before. The workshop door hissed open. Bruce Banner shuffled in, looking like he'd slept in his clothes. Which he probably had. He held 2 cups of coffee like they were religious artifacts. You look terrible, Bruce observed. You look worse. I had nightmares about math. Same. They stood there. 2 geniuses. Exhausted. Caffeinated beyond human tolerance. Staring at data that suggested everything they knew was wrong. Bruce approached the hologram. Reached out. His hand passed through Goku's energy signature, the display rippling. It's beautiful, he said quietly. It's impossible. Same thing sometimes. Bruce pulled up a chair. Saturday. Drank his coffee like a man preparing for battle. I've been thinking. Dangerous. About what Goku said. Key. Life energy. What if? He paused. Organized his thoughts. What if it's not impossible? What if we're just measuring it wrong? Tony turned. Explain. We're approaching this from a physics perspective. Mass, energy, force? But what if Ki operates on a completely different principle? What if it's biological? Spiritual? Something we don't have instruments for? Spiritual energy. You want me to build a spiritometer? I want you to consider that there might be forms of energy we haven't discovered yet. Tony's fingers flew across the haptic interface. New displays bloomed. Okay. Let's say you're right. Let's say Ki exists. Where does it come from? Goku said everyone has it. Everyone in his universe. Maybe everyone here too. We just don't know how to access it. The implications hit Tony like a freight train. You're saying there's an energy source inside every living thing that we've never detected because we didn't know to look for it. I'm saying it's possible. And if it's possible, then it's revolutionary, Bruce finished. Clean energy. Limitless power. Every person on Earth carrying their own reactor. They looked at each other. The kind of look 2 scientists share when they realize they're standing on the edge of something massive. Tony grinned. It was manic. Sleep-deprived. Absolutely genuine. We need to run tests. Extensive tests. Invasive tests. Ethical tests. Obviously ethical tests. Tony waved his hand dismissively. But first, coffee. More coffee. All the coffee. I'll get Strange on the phone, Bruce said. If anyone knows about spiritual energy, way ahead of you. Tony pulled up a display. Already sent him the data. He read me for 15 minutes about reckless experimentation with forces beyond my comprehension, so he's interested, fascinated. He'll be here by noon. Bruce checked his watch. It was 4:47 a.m. We have 7 hours. Then let's not waste them. They worked. Side by side. Genius and genius. Building theoretical frameworks for energy that shouldn't exist. Designing experiments to measure the immeasurable. The sun rose over New York. Either of them noticed. Goku woke to sunlight and confusion. For a moment, that disoriented space between sleep and consciousness, he didn't know where he was. The bed was too soft. The room too quiet. No sounds of Chi-Chi making breakfast. No Goten jumping on him demanding they train. Then memory crashed back. Portal. Tower. Avengers. Another Earth. He sat up. Yawned. Stretched until his joints popped like firecrackers. The room was nice. Fancy. Way fancier than his house on Mount Pauzu. Big windows showed the city spread out below like a glittering carpet. Buildings everywhere. People. Energy signatures, thousands of them, millions, pulsing like fireflies. Weird energy though. Different from home. Goku closed his eyes. Reached out with his senses the way Kami had taught him decades ago. Felt for key signatures. Found them. Weak compared to what he was used to, but present. Every person in the city had that tiny spark. That flicker of life force. They just didn't know it was there. His stomach growled. Loud enough to wake the dead. Right. Food. Very important. He found clothes laid out on a chair. Jeans and a t-shirt with some kind of logo. Too small. He squeezed into them anyway. The shirt proclaimed Stark Expo 2010 across his chest in letters that stretched dangerously tight. The hallway outside was empty. Quiet. He wandered. The tower was massive. Hallways branching in every direction. Doors with keypads and retinal scanners. Very different from Capsule Corp's organized chaos. Voices. He followed them, found a kitchen. Not as big as the one they'd been in yesterday, but still impressive. Natasha stood at the counter, coffee in hand, reading something on a tablet. She looked up as he entered. You're up early. This is late for me, Goku admitted. Usually I'm training by now. It's 6 a.m. Yeah. Late. She almost smiled. Almost. There's food in the fridge. Help yourself. Goku didn't need to be told twice. He opened the industrial-sized refrigerator and stared at the contents like a kid in a candy store. Eggs. Bacon. Fruit. Bread. Enough to feed Goku for maybe half an hour. He started cooking. Natasha watched him crack 18 eggs into a pan without breaking stride. So, she said casually. You mentioned a wife. Chi-Chi. Yep. Goku flipped the eggs one-handed. She's great. Strong. Really strong. Can fight almost as well as me. Almost. Well, I've been training longer. But she's got this thing where she gets really scary when she's mad and even Vegeta won't mess with her. Who's Vegeta? The prince of all Saiyans. He's my rival. We've fought a bunch of times. He's really strong, but I'm usually a little stronger, which makes him really mad and... Goku paused, bacon sizzling. I miss him. Genuine emotion. Raw and honest. Natasha's expression softened. Fractionally. We're working on getting you home. I know. Tony seems really smart. Like Bulma. She can build anything. One time she made a time machine and... He stopped. That probably sounds crazy. After yesterday, nothing sounds crazy. Goku plated his food. Mountain of eggs. Tower of bacon. Half a loaf of toast. He sat across from Natasha and demolished it in minutes. She sipped her coffee. Studied him. This man who'd crashed into their world like a meteor. Who could fly and catch missiles and apparently had friends who could erase universes. Can I ask you something? She said. Sure. Yesterday. When the missiles were coming. You weren't scared. Why would I be scared of missiles? Most people are scared of explosives flying at their face. Goku considered this. I've fought guys who can blow up planets. Missiles are like... I don't know. Baseballs? Baseballs. Yeah. You just catch them. Natasha set down her coffee. You really don't get it, do you? Get what? How different you are. How dangerous. Goku stopped eating. Met her eyes. I'm not dangerous to you guys. How do we know that? Because I don't hurt good people. Simple. Direct. Absolutely certain. I've made mistakes. Lots of them. But I always protect my friends. Always. She wanted to doubt him. Trained herself to doubt everyone. But something in his expression, That complete lack of guile made it impossible. Okay, she said finally. Okay, I believe you. She stood. Finish eating. Tony wants to run some tests this morning. What kind of tests? The kind that will probably make you do impossible things while he takes notes. Goku brightened. That sounds fun. Natasha shook her head. Walked away. Called back over her shoulder. You're weird, Goku. Thanks. He finished breakfast. All of it. Then raided the fridge for second breakfast. This Earth thing might work out after all. The training room was built to withstand Thor. This would prove insufficient. Tony stood in the observation deck. Holographic displays surrounding him like planets orbiting a star. Below, the room had been cleared. Reinforced walls. Vibranium-laced floors. Sensors everywhere. Bruce adjusted his glasses. Are we sure about this? No, Tony admitted. But when has that stopped us? Steve entered, shield on his back. Jarvis said you needed me? Need is a strong word. I'm going to poke the cosmic being with a stick and wanted a super soldier present in case things go sideways. Comforting. I do my best. Goku walked in through the main doors. Still wearing the too small Stark Expo shirt. Still grinning like someone had promised him cake. Morning. He called up to the observation deck. Natasha said you wanted to do tests? Simple stuff, Tony assured him. Strength. Speed. Energy output. Nothing invasive. Cool. Do I just? First, we need a baseline. Tony gestured. Machinery descended from the ceiling. A punching bag. Except it wasn't a bag, it was a sensor array disguised as one. Hit this. Normal punch. Don't hold back. How hard is normal? However hard you usually punch things. Goku shrugged. Walked up to the bag. Drew back his fist. Punched. The bag exploded. Not broke. Not dented. Exploded. Into molecules. Into constituent atoms. 1 second it existed, the next it was a cloud of metallic dust and shattered sensors. The shockwave hit the observation deck. Windows cracked. Tony's coffee mug jumped off the table. Jarvis? Tony's voice was very calm. Very controlled. The impact registered at approximately 47,000 pounds of force, sir. That's... Bruce did math in his head. That's more than a car crash. A serious car crash, Jarvis clarified. Below, Goku looked apologetic. Sorry. Want me to try again lighter? Yes, 3 Avengers said simultaneously. New punching bag descended. Goku tapped it. Gently. Like touching a butterfly. It still flew backward, embedding itself in the reinforced wall. Lighter, Tony called down. Goku barely brushed the next one with his knuckle. It crumpled like aluminum foil. I don't think I have a lighter setting, Goku admitted. Steve descended via the stairs, shield in hand. Approached carefully. Maybe we should try something different. Sparring. Controlled combat. You want to fight him? Bruce sounded horrified. Not fight. Test. See his technique. His control. Steve looked at Goku. Slow. Careful. Just showing me your movements. Goku's eyes lit up. Oh. Like kata. Okay, they squared off. Steve fell into his boxing stance. Decades of training, perfect form. Goku just stood there. Relaxed. Hands at his sides. Ready when you are, Steve said. Goku threw a punch. Slow motion. Telegraphed. Easy to dodge. Steve blocked with his shield. The ringing sound echoed like a bell the size of Manhattan. Steve slid backward, boots scraping the floor, arm going numb from the impact. You okay? Goku asked, concerned. Steve flexed his fingers. Felt the blood returning. Yeah. That was... restrained? Super restrained. Right. Steve circled. Let's try this. I'll attack. You defend. Don't strike back. Just block. He lunged. Fast. Enhanced speed that had surprised Nazis and robots and gods. Goku's hand was just there. Catching Steve's fist mid-punch. Not hard. Gentle, even. But completely immovable. Steve threw his other fist. Caught. Kicked. Caught. Tried to sweep Goku's legs. Might as well have tried to sweep a mountain. They broke apart. Steve wasn't even breathing hard. Super Soldier Serum saw to that. But his pride was taking damage. You're really good, Goku said encouragingly. Your form is great. Where'd you learn to fight? Army. Boxing. Street fighting. 70 years of practice. Only 70? You're still young then. Steve blinked. How old are you? Goku counted on his fingers. 40-something? Maybe 50 if you count the time I was dead. The time you were. Steve shook his head. Never mind. Let's bring in someone with more firepower. He tapped his communicator. Thor. You busy? Static. Then a voice thick with what might have been alcohol. Is the building on fire? No. Then yes. Very busy. We need you for a sparring session. With whom? The new guy. Goku. Pause. The one who caught the missile? That's him. Longer pause. I'll be there in 10 minutes. It took 7. Thor manifested in a crash of Bifrost energy, Stormbreaker in hand, looking significantly less drunk than he'd sounded. He sized up Goku with the practiced eye of someone who'd fought across 9 realms. So Thor rumbled. You're the one causing such commotion. Goku waved. Hi. You're Thor, right? The lightning guy? God of Thunder, Thor corrected, not unkindly. And you are the, what exactly? Tony's been frustratingly vague. I'm a Saiyan. We're a warrior race. We love fighting strong opponents. Thor's expression shifted. Became genuinely interested. A warrior race. Yep. And you wish to test yourself against me? If you don't mind. I promise I'll hold back. Thor laughed. Deep. Genuine. The first real laugh anyone had heard from him in weeks. Hold back? Friend, I think you underestimate the son of Odin. Up in the observation deck, Tony activated full recording. Jarvis, make sure we get every angle of this. You expect violence, sir? I expect science. Thor and Goku faced each other across the training room floor. The air pressure changed. Static electricity built like a coming storm. Shall we begin? Thor asked. Whenever you're ready. Thor summoned lightning. Not the full devastating power he'd used against Hellas' army, but enough to light up the room like a disco ball made of electrical fury. Bolts arced from his fingers, from Stormbreaker, converging on Goku in a cascade of megawatts. Goku stood there. The lightning hit him. Crackled across his skin. He laughed. That tickles. Thor's eyes widened. Tickles? Yeah. It's like a massage. The God of Thunder poured more power into his attack. The room's lighting systems overloaded. Backup generators kicked in. Goku's hair stood up from the static, making his already ridiculous spikes even more absurd. This is great. Goku called over the thunder. But it's not really hurting me. You got anything stronger? Thor cut off the lightning. Stared. Processed. Then grinned. Oh, I like you. He charged. Asgardian combat technique honed over millennia. Stormbreaker swung in arcs that could cleave through starship hulls. Goku dodged. Casual. Effortless. Like Thor was moving through honey. You're fast. Goku said, sounding delighted. But try this. He disappeared. Literally vanished. One instant present, the next gone. Thor spun, divine senses searching. Goku tapped him on the shoulder from behind. Boo! Thor's reflexes were godly. He spun, Stormbreaker swinging. Goku caught it. One hand. On the blade. The weapon that had killed Thanos in another timeline stopped cold by 5 fingers. Okay, Thor said slowly. That's impressive. Thanks. Your weapon's really well made. Who forged it? The heart of a dying star under the guidance of... Thor paused. Are we really having this conversation while you're holding my axe? Why not? Because it's supposed to be devastating? Oh. Sorry. Goku let go. I didn't mean to be rude. Thor called Stormbreaker back to his hand. Studied Goku with new respect. This wasn't just strength. This was something beyond. Something that made Thor, God, Prince, Avenger, feel distinctly mortal. I think, Thor said carefully, you're holding back considerably. Well, yeah? We're just sparring. Show me. Thor planted Stormbreaker. Show me your true power. I swear by the Allfather's name, I can take it. Goku hesitated. You sure? I'm very sure. Okay. But just a little. He closed his eyes. Took a breath. His aura exploded. White gold energy erupted from his body like a geyser. The floor cracked. The air superheated. Every sensor in the room started screaming. Goku's hair flickered. Brown to gold to brown. He wasn't even transforming fully, just letting the power leak. Thor stumbled backward. Not from fear. From the raw pressure. The sheer weight of the energy pressing down like standing under an ocean. In the observation deck, alarms blared. Bruce gripped the railing. Tony's display shattered, again, unable to process the data. Sir, Jarvis said, voice actually shaking, recommend immediate evacuation. Structural integrity of the Goku powered down. Instant. Complete. The energy vanished like someone had flipped a switch. Sorry. Got a little carried away. Thor leaned on Stormbreaker. Not tired. Odd. You're not a warrior, he said quietly. You're a living weapon. I'm just a guy who likes to fight, Goku protested. No. Thor approached. Clapped him on the shoulder. You're much more than that. And I think we're going to be excellent friends. Goku's grin could have powered the city. Really? Really? Anyone who can make me feel weak has earned my respect. You're not weak. You're super strong. I just train a lot. How much is a lot? Most of every day? Unless Chi-Chi makes me work the farm. Thor laughed again. Genuine warmth. You know what? I need to drink less and train more. Perhaps you could show me your techniques? I'd love to. They walked toward the observation deck together, already discussing training regimens and fighting strategies. Steve watched them go, shaking his head in disbelief. Tony pulled up what was left of his data. The energy spike from Goku's brief power-up. Jarvis. Tell me you got readings before everything exploded. I did, sir. But you're not going to like them. Try me. The energy output from that 3-second display was equivalent to 1.7 nuclear warheads. Silence. He wasn't even trying, Bruce said faintly. No, Tony agreed. He wasn't. They looked at each other. Two scientists confronting the impossible. We need to study this, Bruce said. We really need to study this. If we could harness even a fraction, clean energy for decades, revolution in physics, assuming it doesn't violate every law of thermodynamics, which it probably does, but who cares? They grinned at each other. Mad scientist grins. This was going to be fun. By noon, the conference room looked like a conspiracy theorist's dream, whiteboards covered in equations. Holographic displays showing energy flow patterns. Dr. Strange stood at one board, mystic symbols glowing around his fingers as he sketched diagrams that made Bruce's head hurt. The mystic arts recognized 3 forms of energy, Strange explained. Physical, mental, and spiritual. What you're describing, this key, sounds like a fusion of all 3. Can you use it? Tony asked. I manipulate the ambient energy of the universe. Different principle. But... Strange waved his hand. A mandala of golden light bloomed. There may be overlap. If Goku is correct and everyone possesses ki, then perhaps sorcerers have been using it all along without realizing. Goku sat at the table, surrounded by geniuses, looking completely out of his depth. I'm not really good at the science stuff, he admitted. I just feel it. That's actually helpful, Bruce assured him. Sometimes the best understanding comes from intuition. Really? Really? Einstein used thought experiments. Imagined riding on beams of light. Sometimes feeling is more important than formulas. Goku brightened. Okay. So what do you want to know? Everything, Tony said. Start from the beginning. How did you learn to use ki? Master Roshi taught me, I guess? But even before that, Grandpa Gohan showed me some stuff. It's just about feeling the energy inside you and bringing it out. Bringing it out how? Strange leaned forward. You concentrate. Focus on your center, like right here. Goku touched his abdomen. Feel the warmth there. The energy. Then you just push it. Push it where? Wherever you need it. Your fist if you're punching. Your whole body if you're moving fast. Out in front if you're shooting a Kamehameha. Demonstrate, Tony commanded. Small scale. Please don't destroy the building. Goku held up his hand. Palm out. Okay. Watch. He closed his eyes. Took a breath. A sphere of light formed in his palm. Small. Controlled. Blue-white energy that swirled like a tiny galaxy. Every instrument in the room went haywire. Fascinating, Strange breathed. That's... Bruce adjusted his glasses. That's matter and energy existing in the same space without converting, Tony finished. Jarvis, are you getting this? Yes, sir. Though the readings are highly irregular. Goku opened his eyes. The sphere dispersed harmlessly. That's the basic principle. You can make it bigger, stronger, shoot it out, all kinds of stuff. Could we learn? Steve asked from the doorway. He'd been listening. Could you teach us? Goku looked surprised. I mean, sure. But I've never taught anyone from another universe before. I don't know if you can sense ki the same way. Only one way to find out, Natasha said. She'd appeared silently, the way she did. I'm willing to try. As am I, Thor declared, Stormbreaker resting against his shoulder. Same, Clint added via video link. If it makes me less useless against cosmic threats. You're not useless, Steve said automatically. Steve, I shoot arrows. Goku catches missiles. I'd like to upgrade. Goku stood, excited now. Okay. This is great. Everyone sit down. Get comfortable. We'll start with sensing. They arranged themselves. Avengers and a sorcerer, sitting cross-legged on the floor like kids at story time. Goku paced in front of them, trying to figure out how to teach something he'd always just known. Okay, so, close your eyes. All of you. They did. Now breathe. Deep breaths. In and out. They breathed. Feel your heartbeat. The blood in your veins. Your body is alive, right? That life is energy. That's key. It's in every cell. You just need to notice it. Silence. Breathing. I don't feel anything, Clint said via speaker. That's okay. It takes time. Master Rashi said I was a natural, but even I needed practice. Just keep breathing. Keep feeling. Minutes passed. Tony's legs started cramping. Natasha remained perfectly still, trained in meditation. Strange was already in his element. He meditated regularly. Then Steve gasped. I feel something. Yeah? Goku moved closer. What's it like? Warm. In my chest. Like the serum, but different. Deeper. That's it. That's your key. Try to make it grow. Feed it with your breath. Steve concentrated. His enhanced biology adapted quickly, super soldier serum making his body responsive to new stimuli. The warmth grew. Spread. His hand twitched. Tiny sparks, barely visible, danced across his knuckles. Holy shit, Tony muttered. Language, Steve said automatically. His eyes snapped open. The sparks vanished. Did I just? You did! Goku was practically bouncing. That was ki. You actually channeled ki. Steve stared at his hand. 70 years of being enhanced. Of being superhuman. And he'd just done something completely new. How do I do it again? Practice. Lots and lots of practice. But you've got the basics. Goku turned to the others. Anyone else feel anything? I think so, Natasha said quietly. Her eyes remained closed. It's subtle. Like white noise you don't notice until someone points it out. Perfect. That's exactly right, Thor rumbled. I've channeled the lightning of Asgard for centuries. This feels similar, but smaller. More personal, because it's your energy, Goku explained. Not borrowed. Not from a weapon or a storm. Just you. Strange opened his eyes. This is remarkable. I can feel my own magical energy, but underneath it, he formed a mandala. The golden light flickered with something else. Something new. There's another layer. Can you mix them? Goku asked, curious. Strange tried. The mandala pulsed. The golden light swirled with white-blue energy that definitely wasn't magical in nature. I think I can. He looked at his hands like seeing them for the first time. This changes everything about sorcery theory. It changes everything about energy theory, Bruce corrected. He hadn't felt anything yet, but his mind was racing. If ki can be combined with other power sources, magic, technology, the Hulk's gamma radiation, then we're looking at a paradigm shift, Tony finished. He stood. Paced. Thought. Arc reactor technology enhanced with ki. Weapons. Shields. Propulsion systems. Or healing, Strange suggested. If ki is life energy, could it be used for medicine? Recovery? I've seen people heal themselves with ki, Goku offered. Dend, he's a Namekian, can heal almost any injury. And senzu beans work partly because they restore ki. Senzu beans. Bruce pulled out his phone, started taking notes. Medical applications. Healing factors. We need to document all of this. Perhaps we're thinking too small, Thor said. He stood, summoned Stormbreaker. Goku. You said I could channel ki through my lightning? I think so. I mean, lightning is energy. Ki is energy. Should work? Let's test it. Thor's eyes began to glow. Lightning arced across his body. But this time, he focused. Concentrated the way Goku had taught them. Felt for the energy inside. The lightning changed. Still electrical. Still devastating. But now it had weight. Presence. The energy didn't just destroy, it pushed, like physical force made manifest. Thor's eyes widened. Odin's beard. He channeled it through Stormbreaker. The axe blazed with combined power. Divine lightning infused with ki. The sheer radiance filled the room. I feel limitless, Thor breathed. Don't get carried away, Strange warned. Power without control is. Thor released the energy. Carefully. Controlled. The lightning faded. No, he said firmly. For the first time in months, I don't feel broken. I feel. He looked at Goku. Thank you? Goku rubbed the back of his head, embarrassed. I didn't do anything special. You gave a broken god hope. Thor smiled. That's plenty special. Night fell. The tower's occupants scattered to various pursuits. But in the workshop, Tony hadn't stopped. He'd modified an arc reactor. Smaller than the ones in his suits. Experimental. Theoretical. And currently connected to enough sensors to detect a neutrino sneezing. Okay, he muttered. Theory. Arc reactors generate energy through controlled fusion. Ki is life energy. Both are energy. Should be compatible. He'd been trying for 6 hours to manually channel ki into the reactor. Goku's lessons helped. He could feel something now. That warmth. That potential. But making it do something? That was harder. Come on, he told the reactor. Work with me here. He placed his hands on the device. Closed his eyes. Felt for his ki. Found it, small, flickering, nothing compared to Goku's blazing sun, but there. Pushed. The reactor hummed. Its usual blue glow shifted. Became white-blue. The exact color of Goku's energy. Jarvis. Tell me you're seeing this. Confirmed, sir. The reactor's output has increased by 17%. 17%? Tony did math. That's massive. That's years of iterative improvements in one. The reactor sputtered. The glow faded. Tony's concentration broke. Damn it. May I suggest taking a break, sir? You've been working for. I don't need a break. I need to figure out why the connection failed. Goku mentioned that ki requires intent. Perhaps your focus. My focus is fine. Sir, you've consumed 9 cups of coffee and haven't eaten since. The workshop door opened. Goku walked in, carrying a plate loaded with sandwiches. Jarvis said you haven't eaten, he explained. Thought you might be hungry. Tony's stomach growled. Betrayed by his own biology. Fine. Food. Then back to work. Goku set the plate down. Peered at the modified reactor. What are you trying to do? Combine ki with arc reactor technology. Create a hybrid power source. I got it working for 7 seconds before you ran out of energy, Goku finished. I didn't run out. I lost focus. Same thing. Goku picked up a sandwich. Ate it in 2 bites. Your ki is really small. Not trying to be mean. Just, you're new at this. It's like trying to lift a mountain when you've only ever lifted pebbles. Tony bristled. So what do I do? Train for 20 years? Or, Goku looked thoughtful. Or you borrow energy. Borrow? Yeah. When I fought Kid Buu, I used a spirit bomb. It's a technique where you gather energy from everything around you, people, plants, planets. All their ki combined into one attack. Tony's mind raced. You can combine ki from multiple sources? Sure. It's one of the first things King Kai taught me. King Kai. Another person I'm just accepting exists. Tony grabbed a sandwich. Thought while chewing. If I could channel your ki through the reactor. We could try. Really? You just... Yeah. You're trying to help people, right? That's a good reason. Simple. Direct. Goku's entire worldview in 2 sentences. They positioned themselves around the reactor. Goku placed his hands on one side. Tony on the other. Okay, Goku said. I'm going to send you some ki. Just a little. When you feel it, guide it into the machine. This is insane. Probably. Goku's hands glowed. Energy, visible, tangible energy, flowed from him into the reactor. Into Tony, Tony gasped. It felt like lightning and sunshine and pure life flooding through his nervous system. His own ki, that tiny spark, suddenly had fuel. Direction. Purpose. He channeled it into the reactor. The device sang. The glow intensified. White-blue light blazed like a captive star. The output meters went from 17% increased to 40. To 60. To numbers that shouldn't be possible from a device that size. Jarvis, output has increased by 347%, sir. Sustained. Stable. This is extraordinary. Tony's hands shook. Not from strain. From excitement. We did it. We actually did it. Cool. Goku pulled his hands back. The reactor's glow faded to normal, but it still pulsed with residual ki. What are you going to use it for? Everything. Tony stared at the device like it was the Holy Grail. Suits. Shields. Weapons. This changes the entire game. If I can miniaturize this, incorporate it into my armor, you could fight stronger bad guys. Exactly. Tony laughed. Actual genuine laughter. Goku, you just revolutionized clean energy, and you don't even care about the Nobel Prize implications. What's a Nobel Prize? Never mind. Help me build the next prototype. They worked. Genius and warrior. Technology and ki. Hours passed. Tony's exhaustion vanished, replaced by manic energy. Goku offered suggestions based on intuition that somehow perfectly complemented Tony's technical expertise. By 3 a.m., they had a working prototype. A gauntlet. Modified Iron Man technology with ki channeling circuits. Tony slipped it on. Felt the reactor's pulse. His own ki responding. He raised his palm. Fired. The repulsor blast wasn't red gold anymore. It was white-blue. And it hit the test target with 3 times the usual force. Holy shit, Tony whispered. That was great. Goku said. Now try it with more feeling. More feeling? Yeah. Ki responds to emotion. Intent. Think about why you're fighting. Who you're protecting. Tony thought about Pepper. About the team. About New York and all the people he'd failed to save. Fired again. The blast vaporized the target. Punched through the reinforced wall behind it. Kept going. Alarms wailed. Jarvis, damage report. You've created a hole through 7 floors, sir. And possibly Starbucks on the ground level. Oops, Goku said. Oops, Tony agreed. They looked at each other. Started laughing. Because this was insane. Impossible. Revolutionary. And they were just getting started. Bruce Banner stood in the reinforced chamber. Heart racing. They'd put this off. Obviously. When your other identity was a rage monster who'd fought Thor to a standstill, introducing him to cosmic-level power seemed unwise. But Bruce was curious. Scientific curiosity trumped caution. Always had. Goku stood outside the chamber, speaking through the intercom. You ready? Define ready, Bruce replied. Want me to not do this? Bruce took a breath. No. Let's see what happens. The plan was simple. Goku would help Bruce sense his ki. Then maybe they'd see if Hulk could learn too. Okay, Goku said. Just like we practiced. Close your eyes. Feel for the warmth, Bruce did. His enhanced biology made it easier. The gamma radiation in his cells interacted with Ki in ways he didn't understand but could feel. There. That spark. That potential. I've got it, he said. Great. Now here's the tricky part. You and Hulk, you're the same person, right? Technically. It's complicated, so your Ki is his Ki. Shared. If you can feel it, he should be able to feel it too. You want me to transform. Only if you're comfortable. Bruce hesitated. Hulk was... Hulk. Unpredictable. Dangerous. The last time he'd let loose, people had died. But maybe this could help. Maybe understanding Ki could give Hulk focus. Control. Okay, Bruce said. But if this goes wrong, I'll stop him, Goku promised. I've fought lots of strong guys who lost control. I can handle it. Something about his tone, completely confident, zero arrogance, made Bruce believe him. He let go. The transformation was never pleasant. Bones breaking. Muscles expanding. Rage flooding through every synapse. Hulk emerged. The green giant filled the chamber, fists clenched, looking for threats. Saw Goku through the window. Puny man, Hulk growled. Hi. Goku waved. Want to try something cool? Hulk smashed cool thing. That's the spirit. But first, do you feel that warmth in your chest? Hulk paused. Confused. Looked down at his massive torso. Warm? Yeah. Right there. That's energy. That's Ki. It's what makes you strong. Hulk's small eyes narrowed. Focused. He placed one massive hand on his chest. Hulk, feel something. That's it. Now try to make it bigger. Think about being strong. Hulk was always thinking about being strong. He concentrated. Roared. His aura, normally just heat distortion from his rage, became visible. Green energy, the color of gamma radiation, exploded around him. The chamber shook. Cracks spiderwebbed through the vibranium-reinforced walls. Hulk is strongest there is. The energy pulsed. Grew. Hulk's eyes blazed with green fire. Then he stopped. Looked at his hands. At the energy swirling around them. Hulk, control power? You can. Goku encouraged. That's your Ki. You're in charge of it. For the first time in his existence, Hulk felt something besides rage. He felt connected. To the energy. To himself. He threw a punch at the wall. Controlled. Precise. The impact dented vibranium but didn't shatter it. Hulk did gentle smash. Yes. Exactly. You can choose how hard to hit. Hulk stared at his fist. Processing. Learning. Then he smiled. Actually smiled. Hulk like this. Hulk want more. We can practice whenever you want, Goku promised. The Gamma Giant nodded. Sat down cross-legged, an absurd sight, but genuine. Teach Hulk more. Outside the chamber, Tony watched through cameras. Are we witnessing Hulk? Learning impulse control? I think we are, Natasha said softly. That's... Steve shook his head. That's incredible. Thor clapped Tony on the shoulder. Your friend Goku is full of surprises. He's not my friend. He's a Tony paused. Okay, yeah? He's kind of my friend. In the chamber, Goku was explaining the basics of Ki control to an 8-foot rage monster who was listening with rapt attention. This was the weirdest Tuesday ever, and it was about to get weirder, because 17,000 light-years away, on a ship drifting in the void, Thanos watched. His sensors had picked up the energy signatures. Multiple sources. All from Earth. All learning something new. The Saiyan was teaching them. Making them stronger. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. Thanos leaned back in his throne. Smiled that terrible smile. Prepare the ship, he commanded. Set course for Earth. My lord, Ebony Maw asked carefully, shall I summon the Black Order? All of them. This requires finesse. Because Thanos had realized something. The Saiyan was powerful. But he was also a teacher. Which meant Earth's mightiest heroes would soon be far more formidable. The timeline had accelerated. He would need to move quickly. But the Mad Titan was patient. Strategic. And he had waited this long for the Infinity Stones. A few more weeks wouldn't matter. He could wait. And watch. and planned for the moment when he would claim what was rightfully his, no matter who stood in his way. Tony Stark's workshop at 4:47 a.m. was a temple of madness. Holographic equations spiraled like DNA helixes. Coffee cups formed archaeological layers, oldest on bottom, newest still steaming. The floor was a minefield of discarded prototypes and crumpled calculations, and at the center of it all, one man who'd forgotten what sleep felt like. No. Tony swiped through another simulation. It collapsed into gibberish. Jarvis, run it again. Sir, I've run this simulation 63 times. The results are consistent. Then the simulation's wrong. Or perhaps the approach is flawed. Tony's eye twitched. Getting sass from his own AI. Beautiful. He stared at the key-enhanced arc reactor prototype. The thing worked, sort of. When Goku channeled energy into it directly, it sang like a mechanical angel. Output tripled. Quadrupled. Enough clean energy to power Manhattan for a week from something the size of his fist. But the moment Goku pulled away, dead. Inert. Just another fancy paperweight. There has to be a way, Tony muttered. Some mechanism to store key. Capacitors. Batteries. Something. May I remind you that key is life energy? One cannot simply bottle life. Watch me. He pulled up new schematics. Modified designs incorporating everything they'd learned. Crystalline matrices to hold charge. Resonance chambers to amplify output. Feedback loops to sustain the reaction. Theory said it couldn't work. Tony Stark didn't care what theory said. He fabricated components with the workshop's 3D printers. Assembled them with hands that trembled from caffeine and exhaustion. Connected power supplies. Calibrated sensors. Okay, he told the universe. Let's try this. He placed his palm on the reactor. Concentrated. Found his key, that tiny, flickering spark that Goku had helped him discover. Pushed it into the device. The reactor hummed, glowed, pulsed with white-blue energy that made his instruments scream with joy. Yes. Jarvis, readings. Output at 200% standard capacity. Holding steady? Sir, I believe you've. The glow flickered, died. The reactor went cold. Tony slumped. How long? 47 seconds. 47 seconds. He laughed. Bitter. Exhausted. Better than last time. Progress is progress, sir. Progress. Tony stripped off the test gauntlet. Threw it across the room. It clattered against the wall, leaving a dent. You know what the problem is, Jarvis? I have several theories. I'm trying to build a machine with a soul. Tony slumped into his chair. Key isn't just energy. It's intent. Will. Spirit. You can't engineer that. You can't reduce it to equations and expect it to just work. Perhaps that's the lesson. What lesson? That some things cannot be controlled. Only guided. Tony was about to respond when alarms shrieked. Not building alarms. Not security. Something else. Something worse. Jarvis's voice went flat. Clinical. Sir, I'm detecting massive energy signatures. Incoming. Multiple vectors. Tony's exhaustion evaporated. Where? Everywhere. The Stark Expo demonstration was supposed to be simple. Tony had arranged it carefully. Controlled environment. Invited press. Government officials. He'd showcased the key-enhanced technology. Nothing too dramatic, just enough to prove it worked. Ease the military's paranoia about Goku. Show the world that this dimensional refugee was an asset, not a threat. Pepper had called it damage control masquerading as showmanship. Tony called it Tuesday. The expo floor gleamed. Prototype displays lined the walls, suits, repulsors, arc reactors, all enhanced with key principles. Goku stood off to the side, uncomfortable in the button-down shirt they'd convinced him to wear. His tie was already loosened. Do I have to stay? He asked Steve for the fourth time. You're the guest of honor. I don't like being honored. Can't I just train? After the demonstration, Goku sighed. Shifted his weight. The Saiyan had spent 3 days learning to suppress his energy signature so he wouldn't set off every sensor in the building just by existing. It was working. Mostly, the crowd murmured. Investors. Scientists. Military brass in uniform. Reporters with cameras and that hungry look. Tony took the stage. Spotlight. Applause. He grinned. The performance-ready smile he perfected over decades. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming. What I'm about to show you will fundamentally change how we think about energy, combat, and the future itself. He gestured. A repulsor cannon rose from the floor. Standard Stark tech. Impressive but familiar. This is last year's model. Powerful. Efficient. State-of-the-art. He pressed a button. The cannon fired, a brilliant red-gold beam that struck a target, leaving a scorched crater. Effective. He gestured again. Another cannon. Identical. Except for the faint white-blue glow around its core. This is tomorrow's model. Tony fired. The difference was apocalyptic. The beam, white-blue, blazing like captured starlight, didn't just hit the target. It erased it. Vaporized. The shockwave rattled windows. The crowd gasped. This, Tony said, voice carrying that edge of controlled chaos, is what happens when you combine arc reactor technology with something we're calling key energy. A revolutionary power source that, the ceiling exploded. Not metaphorically. The actual ceiling, reinforced steel and concrete, ripped apart like paper. Debris rained. People screamed. Security scrambled. 2 figures descended through the destruction. Corvus Glaive. Tall. Skeletal. His blade gleamed with sick purple light. Proxima Midnight. Battle-scarred. Brutal. Her spear crackled with dark energy. The Black Order had arrived. Tony's arc reactor flared to life instantly. Jarvis, get everyone out. Now. But the civilians were already panicking. Stampeding toward exits that suddenly seemed too far away. Security opened fire. Bullets that bounced harmlessly off Corvus's skin. Goku was moving before anyone could blink. He appeared between the Order and the crowd. No transformation. No aura. Just there. Hi, he said cheerfully. You guys lost? Corvus Glaive studied him. Eyes like chips of ice. The Saiyan. Lord Thanos wishes to evaluate you. Thanos? Goku tilted his head. Who's that? You'll meet him soon enough. Dead or alive, his preference hasn't been specified. Proxima's spear spun. I vote dead. She lunged. Fast. Faster than human eyes could track. The spear aimed for Goku's heart with the force to punch through starship hulls. Goku caught it. One hand. Casual. Like grabbing a falling pen. Whoa, he said. This is a neat weapon. Where'd you get it? Proxima's eyes widened. She pulled, strength that could move tanks. The spear didn't budge. Impossible, she hissed. Nah, just practice. Goku smiled. But you're pretty strong. Want to fight for real? Corvus attacked from behind. His blade, forged from the same cosmic forces that powered the stones, descended toward Goku's neck. Goku let go of the spear. Ducked. The blade whistled overhead, turned. Kicked. His foot connected with Corvus's chest. The alien went through the wall. Through the building beyond. Through 3 more buildings. Finally stopped by a parking garage 4 blocks away. Silence. Absolute. Shocked. Silence. Then chaos erupted. Proxima retreated. Tactical withdrawal, not cowardice. She spoke into some invisible communicator. Target confirmed. Power levels exceed predictions. Requesting. Steve's shield hit her in the face. She stumbled. Caught herself. Spun, and Tony's repulsor blast caught her mid-turn. The key-enhanced version. She flew backward, crashing through display cases. Iron Man hovered, repulsors charged. Nobody attacks my expo. The Avengers assembled. Steve recovered his shield, face grim. Natasha appeared from the crowd. She'd been undercover as press. Clint dropped from the rafters, bow drawn. They'd been ready. Of course they'd been ready. Proxima stood. Blood trickled from her nose. She smiled, sharp, feral. Amusing. But you misunderstand. We're not here to conquer. Then why are you here? Steve demanded. To test. She raised her spear. To see if the Saiyan is worth Lord Thanos' attention. Corvus crashed back through the hole he'd made. Debris cascading. He looked angry. Actually damaged, bruised, armor cracked. The Saiyan hits hard, he rasped. Told you, Proxima replied. They attacked together. Coordinated. Centuries of combat experience flowing like water. The Avengers met them. Steve's shield rang against Corvus's blade. Sparks flew. Vibranium versus cosmic metal. Natasha moved like smoke, targeting weak points with Widow's bites. Clint's arrows, explosive, electric, corrosive, rained from above. Tony coordinated. Jarvis, pattern analysis. Find me weak spots. Working, sir. Though I should note, these entities register as significantly more durable than previous. Proxima's spear punched through Tony's armor. Through the shoulder joint. Clean through. Shit! Tony fired point blank. She dodged. The beam vaporized the support column. The building groaned. Oh, that's not good, Clint muttered. Goku appeared beside Tony. You okay? Been better. Armor's compromised. Want me to handle this? I want you to. Tony ducked a swing from Corvus. Yes, actually. Handle this. Goku nodded. His expression shifted. Not angry. Not even particularly serious. Just focused. He walked toward the Black Order. They attacked simultaneously. Blade and spear from opposite angles. Precision strikes that had killed gods. Goku weaved between them. Not fast enough to disappear. Just untouchable. Every strike missed by millimeters. His movements were economical. Efficient. Beautiful. Then he struck back. Palm strike to Corvus's chest. The alien gasped, actual pain crossing his features. Goku spun. Elbow to Proxima's abdomen. She doubled over. You guys are good, Goku said conversationally. Really coordinated. But you're holding back. Holding back? Corvus coughed blood. Yeah. You're testing me, right? So test me properly. Go all out. Proxima straightened. Wiped her mouth. You want us to fight seriously? I want a good fight. They exchanged glances. Some unspoken communication. Then they unleashed hell. Corvus's blade erupted with dark energy. Proxima's spear became a whirlwind of death. They moved faster, inhumanly fast. The ground cracked under their footsteps. Air superheated from the friction. The Avengers fell back. This was beyond them. Even Steve, shield raised, knew it. Goku met the assault. Still no transformation. Still just base form. But his movements accelerated. Matched their speed. Exceeded it. He caught Corvus's blade between his palms. Held it. The energy crackling against his skin like lightning. Good. Goku grinned. This is more like it. He twisted. Wrenched the blade sideways. Corvus lost his grip. First time in 5,000 years. Proxima attacked from behind. Spear aimed for his spine. Goku's hand shot back. Caught the spear. Pulled. Proxima came with it. Off balance. Goku spun. Through her, she flew. Not through buildings this time. Straight up. Through the expo's ceiling. Into the sky. Disappeared from sight. Corvus retrieved his blade. Panting. You're stronger than our intelligence suggested. I get that a lot. Goku stretched. You give up? Never. Corvus charged. Desperation fueling speed. His blade moved in patterns that defied geometry, cutting reality itself with each swing. Goku blocked with his forearm. The blade, cosmic metal forged in dying stars, struck flesh. Clinked, like hitting steel. No. Like hitting something harder than steel. Corvus stared. His blade. The weapon that had killed Asgardians and Kree beings whose names were lost to time, stopped by skin. Huh, Goku said. Your blade's sharper than most things. Almost felt that. Corvus backed away. You're not, you can't be. I'm just a guy who trains a lot. Goku's smile was genuine. Kind even. Tell your boss, Thanos, if he wants to fight, I'm happy to. But attacking innocent people? Not cool. Proxima crashed back down. Crater-forming impact. She struggled to her feet. Both members of the Black Order stood there. Bleeding. Bruised. Outmatched. We need to retreat, Proxima said quietly. Agreed. Corvus raised his blade. Not to attack. To signal. Space warped, some kind of teleportation technology, but before they vanished, Proxima spoke. Her voice carried across the demolished expo. Lord Thanos sends a message, Saiyan. He knows you're here. He's coming. And when he arrives... She smiled. Blood on her teeth. You'll learn what true power means. They disappeared. Portal closing. Gone. Silence descended. The kind that comes after earthquakes and explosions. Then the building groaned. Everyone out! Steve bellowed. The remaining civilians stampeded. The Avengers followed, Tony limping, armor sparking. They cleared the building seconds before it collapsed. Tons of steel and concrete crashing down in clouds of dust. Outside, sirens wailed. Emergency services. News helicopters. The National Guard, probably. The team regrouped in the street. Exhausted. Battered. Well, Clint said into the silence, that could have gone better. Avengers Tower. 2 hours later, they'd retreated. Regrouped. Natasha had field-dressed Tony's shoulder while he insisted he was fine. Steve's shield had a new dent. Clint was down to 3 arrows, and Goku sat in the corner, looking troubled. Okay, Tony said, arm in a sling. Someone explain to me what the hell just happened. The Black Order, Steve said grimly. Thanos' elite assassins. You know them? Know of them. Fury had files. Incomplete, but enough. They're killers. Genocidal. They travel ahead of Thanos, softening targets before he arrives. Which means Thanos is coming here, Natasha finished. Who is Thanos? Bruce asked. He'd stayed behind during the attack. Hulk wasn't needed yet. I've heard the name, but... Death, Thor rumbled from the doorway. He'd arrived mid-meeting, summoned by emergency beacon. Thanos' death-given form. The Mad Titan? I've heard stories from across the realms. Worlds that defied him. They're all ash now. Cheerful, Tony muttered. He seeks the Infinity Stones, Thor continued. 6 gems of primordial power. United, they grant omnipotence. Control over reality itself. Omnipotence. Bruce removed his glasses. Cleaned them. That's bad. Worse than bad, Steve said. If Thanos gets all 6 stones, he could reshape the universe, Thor finished. Slaughter half of all life with a thought. That's his goal. His mercy. Balanced through genocide. Silence fell like a shroud. Goku spoke up. So he's a bad guy. Everyone looked at him. Yes, Steve said carefully. A very bad guy. Okay. Goku nodded. Then we stop him. It's not that simple, Tony said. This isn't some thug we can arrest. This is a cosmic warlord with an army and a god complex. I've fought lots of those, in your universe. This is ours. Different rules. Rules don't matter much in a fight. Goku stood. Paced. Look, I get it. This Thanos guy is strong. Scary. But that's what I do, fight strong, scary guys. I can handle him. Alone? Natasha's voice was sharp. If I have to. That's not how we work, Steve said firmly. We're a team. We fight together. I don't want you guys getting hurt because of me. Too late. Tony gestured to his shoulder. Already hurt. And not because of you, because Thanos decided we're worth attacking. He came because of me, Goku insisted. That Proxima lady said so? He wants to test me. If you just what? Steve interrupted. Go fight him alone? Get yourself killed? Then what? I won't get killed. You don't know that. I've died before. It's not that bad. The casual way he said it, like death was an inconvenience, made everyone pause. You've mentioned that, Bruce said. Multiple times. Care to elaborate? Goku shrugged. I've died fighting bad guys. Came back. Happened a few times. Dragon Balls, mostly. Once I chose to stay dead, but that didn't work out. You chose to stay dead, Natasha repeated slowly. Yeah, there were reasons. Long story, Thor laughed. Actual genuine laughter. I like you, Goku. You treat death like an old friend. More like an annoying acquaintance. Gentlemen, Tony interrupted. Fascinating as this is, we have bigger problems. Thanos is coming. He sent his elite team to test Goku. They got stomped. Which means, he'll come himself, Steve finished. Assess the threat personally. Exactly. So we need a plan. I have a plan, Goku offered. What is it? Fight him really hard until he stops. Silence. That's not a plan, Tony said. Works for me. Because you're insane. Tony, Steve warned. What? He is. He catches missiles for fun. They were going to hurt people, Goku protested. Before the argument could escalate, Jarvis interrupted. Sirs, we have a visitor. Who? Dr. Stephen Strange. He's requesting immediate audience. Strange? Tony stood. Let him in. The doors opened. Dr. Strange strode in, the cloak of levitation billowing dramatically. His expression was grave. We have a problem, he announced without preamble. We know, Steve said. Thanos is coming sooner than you think. Strange waved his hand. Golden mandalas bloomed, forming a holographic display. It showed space, stars, and a massive ship approaching Earth. The Sanctuary too, Strange said. Thanos' flagship. I've been monitoring interdimensional threats since your friend arrived. He nodded to Goku. When the Black Order attacked, I investigated. That ship is 3 days from Earth. 3 days. Tony's mind raced. That's not enough time to prepare. No. It's not. Can you stop him? Thor asked. The Time Stone won't work on Thanos. He's too strong. Too prepared. Strange's expression darkened. I've used the stone to view possible futures. Outcomes of this coming conflict. And I saw 14,605 potential timelines. How many do we win? Strange met their eyes. Each one in turn. His face was stone. 87. The number hung in the air like a death sentence. 87, Bruce repeated. Out of 14 million. The odds are not favorable. That's the understatement of the century, Tony muttered. Goku raised his hand. Question. Strange turned. Yes? In those timelines where we win, was I there? You're a variable. You don't exist in this universe's natural timeline. So my visions are unclear where you're concerned. Sometimes you're present. Sometimes not. Sometimes you make things better. Sometimes worse. How can I make it worse? By underestimating Thanos. He's not like your previous opponents. He's strategic. Patient. And with the Infinity Stones. Strange paused. Let me show you, he gestured. The hologram changed. Showed a purple titan. Massive. Armored. The Infinity Gauntlet on his left hand, glowing with the power and space stones. This is Thanos. He currently possesses 2 stones. Power, granting strength beyond measure. Space, allowing teleportation across the universe. If he acquires the others. The hologram showed Thanos snapping his fingers. Reality warped. Half of all life turned to dust. The Avengers watched in horror. Goku's expression went flat. He kills half of everyone? It's his solution to overpopulation. Universal balance through mass murder. That's not balance. That's just evil. Yes. Strange dismissed the hologram. Which is why we must stop him. At any cost. I can fight him, Goku said quietly. Seriously. I've fought universe destroyers before. Gods of destruction. Beings who could erase galaxies. I can handle one titan. Can you handle the Infinity Stones? Strange asked. What do they do? Strange listed them. Power, raw energy. Space, teleportation and dimensional control. Reality, warping existence itself. Soul, manipulating life force. Time, controlling causality. Mind, dominating consciousness. Together, they make the wielder essentially omnipotent. Goku considered this. So he'd be really, really strong. Beyond strong. Limitless. Good. Goku grinned. Genuinely. I like a challenge. You're not taking this seriously, Tony accused. I am. But worrying won't help. Training will. Training? Steve leaned forward. What kind of training? All of you. Goku looked around the room. You've learned to sense ki. Some of you can even use it a little. But in 3 days? We can push that further. Make you stronger. Fast. How much stronger? Natasha asked. Depends on how hard you work. Thor stood. I'm willing to try. If this Saiyan training can give us an edge, it won't be enough, Strange interrupted. Even with enhanced abilities, Thanos with the stones is. Then we don't let him get the stones, Steve said firmly. We protect them. Hide them. Destroy them if necessary. Some are already in play. The Time Stone is mine. I guard it. The Mind Stone is in Vision. The Space Stone was last seen in Asgard. Destroyed, Thor said quietly. When Asgard fell. Or so I thought. Loki? Tony guessed. Thor's silence was confirmation. Great. So Thanos might already have 3 stones. This keeps getting better. We need allies, Steve decided. Everyone we can muster. Wakanda. The Guardians. Anyone who'll fight. I'll reach out to the Sanctums, Strange offered. Coordinate magical defenses. I'll call Fury's old contacts, Natasha said. See who's still active. And I'll finish the key-enhanced suits, Tony added. If we're going to war, we go equipped. Plans formed. Strategies emerged. The Avengers did what they did best. Organized chaos into something resembling a defense. But Goku just stood there. Watching. Thinking. Finally, he spoke. Can I see the stone? The time one? Strange's hand moved to the eye of Agamotto. Protective. Why? Just curious. I've fought gods who could manipulate time. Wondered if the stone works the same way. It's dangerous. Reality altering. Not a toy. I won't touch it. Promise. Strange hesitated. Then opened the eye. The time stone gleamed. Brilliant green, pulsing with power that made the air taste electric. Goku leaned close. Studied it. His expression was unreadable. Interesting, he said finally. What? It's got ki. Everyone stopped. What? Strange repeated. The stone. It's got energy. Like ki, but different. Bigger. More fundamental. Goku looked up. Everything's got ki. People, animals, planets. But that stone? It's like concentrated universe ki. Strange closed the eye quickly. That's not an inaccurate description, actually. The stones are fragments of creation itself. Primordial energy given form. Can Thanos use them against me? Unknown. You're from another reality. The stones govern this universe's laws. Whether that includes you. Strange trailed off. I genuinely don't know. Guess we'll find out. Goku stretched. Okay. 3 days. Let's make them count. Day 1. Morning broke over a clearing in upstate New York. Far from cities. Far from civilians. Just forest and open sky and the Avengers learning to move like warriors. Goku stood at the center. Teacher. Mentor. Completely unqualified but somehow perfect. Okay. We're going to work on ki control first. Everyone, spread out. They spread. Steve, Natasha, Clint, Thor. Bruce stayed behind. Hulk had his own training regime. Tony was in the workshop, frantically fabricating. Close your eyes, Goku instructed. Feel your energy. Find it. Good. Now we're going to move it. Move it where? Clint asked. Through your body. Into your limbs. Your fists. When you punch, channel ki into the strike. Makes it stronger, Steve tried. Through a punch. Nothing visible happened. Then the tree he'd aimed at exploded. Holy, he stared at his fist. Did I just? You did! Goku bounced excitedly. That was great! Do it again! Steve punched another tree. Same result. Splinters and devastation. This is incredible, he breathed. Now make it consistent. Every punch. Every kick. Channel ki until it's automatic. They trained. Hours melted. Natasha learned to channel ki into precision. Her strikes became surgical, finding weak points with inhuman accuracy. Clint infused arrows with energy. They exploded like missiles on impact. Thor worked separately. His Asgardian physiology adapted quickly. Lightning and ki merged. When he summoned Stormbreaker, the weapon blazed with combined power. I feel like I'm being reborn, Thor said, electricity dancing across his skin. You're just learning what was always there. Goku replied. By nightfall they were exhausted. But stronger. Noticeably, measurably stronger. Day 2. Tony emerged from the workshop. He hadn't slept. Didn't plan to. In his hands, the Mark XLVI armor. The Kaioken model. Jarvis status? All systems integrated. Key channeling circuits operational. Arc reactor modified with the crystalline matrix you designed. Should maintain charge for approximately 12 minutes under combat conditions. 12 minutes to save the world. No pressure. He suited up. The armor closed around him. Familiar weight. But something new, that warmth. That connection. The key-enhanced reactor pulsed against his chest like a second heart. Test run. Let's see what this baby can do. He flew. Not just flew, soared. The repulsors burned white-blue. Speed increased 30%. Maneuverability felt effortless. He targeted a boulder. Fired. The rock didn't explode. It vaporized. Turned to atomic dust by the key-enhanced blast. Oh, that's beautiful. Sir, the power consumption is significant. At this rate, I know. 12 minutes? Better make them count. He landed. The other Avengers gathered. They'd been watching. Iron Man got an upgrade, Clint observed. Iron Man got a revolution, Tony corrected. This is just the prototype. I'm building versions for everyone. Everyone? Steve asked. Everyone who can use them. Modified shields. Enhanced arrows. Thor gets. Hell, I don't even know what Thor gets. Something ridiculous. I require nothing but Stormbreaker, Thor declared. You say that now. Wait until you see what I'm building. They planned. Strategized. Wakanda had agreed to host the battle. Their shields could contain the fighting. T'Challa was rallying forces. Okoye was preparing the Dora Milaje. The pieces were falling into place. Day 3. Dawn. Goku stood alone on the tower's roof. Meditating. Preparing. He could feel it. Something approaching. Massive. Powerful. The energy signature was wrong, twisted by the stones, but present. Thanos was coming. Steve found him there. You ready? As ready as I can be. You seem calm. I'm always calm before a big fight. Goku opened his eyes. But I'm worried. About Thanos? About you guys. My friends back home. They can handle themselves. Vegeta, Gohan, Piccolo, they're all really strong. But you. He looked at Steve. You're brave. All of you. But this Thanos, we've faced long odds before. Not like this. Steve sat. 2 warriors. 2 protectors. Watching the sunrise. When I went into the ice, Steve said quietly, I thought that was it. The end. 70 years later, I wake up to a world I don't recognize. Everything I knew, gone. Everyone I loved, dead. That sounds lonely. It was. But then I found the Avengers. Found purpose again. And I realized something. He looked at Goku. It doesn't matter if the odds are impossible. It doesn't matter if we're outmatched. What matters is standing up anyway. Because it's the right thing to do, Goku finished. Exactly. They sat in companionable silence. Then Jarvis's voice cut through. Sirs. The Sanctuary 2 has entered Earth's atmosphere. Time was up. The ship was a nightmare given form. Massive. Angular. Dark metal that seemed to absorb light. It descended over New York like a malevolent moon, casting shadows that turned day to twilight. Every news channel showed it. Every phone camera captured it. The world watched. Humanity's mightiest heroes stood ready. Wakanda had opened its borders. T'Challa activated the shields, a dome of shimmering energy protecting the capital. Inside, warriors assembled. Dora Milaje. Border tribe. The Jabari. Baku had agreed to fight. Even Shuri, armed with sonic weapons of her own design. The Avengers teleported in via strange portals. Iron Man in his new armor. Captain America, shield gleaming. Thor, lightning crackling. Widow. Hawkeye. Banner, Hulk lurking beneath the surface eager. And Goku. Standing at the front. Orange GI pristine. Hair defying gravity. That's a big ship, he observed. Understatement of the year, Tony muttered. The ship landed, if landing was the right word. It settled over Wakanda like a descending guillotine. The shields held. Barely, then the doors opened. The Outriders came first. Thousands. Mindless. Vicious. Four-armed monstrosities that shrieked and charged the shields in waves. Hold. Chala commanded, the shields held. The Outriders smashed against them, burning, dying, but more coming. Always more. Then the Black Order emerged. Corvus Glaive, blade ready. Proxima Midnight, spear gleaming. Cull Obsidian, massive, brutal. Ebony Maw, floating, hands weaving reality, and behind them, Thanos, 8 feet tall. Purple skin like bruised twilight. Armor of gold and black. The Infinity Gauntlet on his left hand, Power Stone purple, Space Stone blue, Soul Stone orange. 3 stones. He'd acquired the Soul Stone. Oh no, Strange breathed. Thanos descended the ramp. Slow. Deliberate. Each footstep was thunder. He surveyed the assembled forces with eyes older than civilizations. Then he spoke. Voice like grinding planets. I am Thanos. I have come for the stones. Surrender them peacefully, and half of you may live. Resist. He smiled. And all of you will die screaming. We don't negotiate with genocidal maniacs, Steve called back. A pity. Thanos raised his gauntlet hand. The space stone flared. The shield shattered. Just like that. No struggle. No resistance. Reality bent. Space warped. Wakanda's impenetrable defenses, created with centuries of technological advancement, gone. The Outriders poured through. Wakanda forever. Chala screamed. The battle began. Chaos. Absolute chaos. Dora Milaje spears met Outrider claws. Border tribe shields formed walls. The Jabari smashed with brutal efficiency. Hulk erupted. Bruce finally letting go. Green Fury demolishing everything in reach. The Avengers fought as one. Steve's shield, key-enhanced, cleaved through enemies like paper. Natasha moved like death, every strike precise. Clint's arrows multiplied, each one infused with energy that detonated like grenades. Tony flew above, repulsors blazing. Jarvis, target priorities. Everything, sir. Everything is a priority. Thor brought lightning. Real lightning. Storm forced devastation that carved trenches through the enemy. His eyes glowed white-blue. Ki and divinity merged. And Goku? Goku walked forward. Not running. Just walking. Casual. Unhurried. Outriders attacked. He batted them aside like flies. Hundreds. Thousands. None even slowed him down. The Black Order noticed. The Saiyan, Ebony Maw hissed. Lord Thanos, shall we? No. Thanos watched Goku approach. He's mine. They met in the center of the battlefield. 2 warriors. 2 forces of nature. Goku looked up at the Titan. Smiled. You're Thanos? I am. You hurt a lot of people. I saved them. Through necessary sacrifice. Doesn't look like they wanted to be saved. Thanos' expression hardened. You wouldn't understand. You're a weapon. A tool. Pointed at problems until they disappear. Maybe. Goku's smile faded. But I choose my fights. I protect people. You just kill them. Philosophical differences aside, Thanos raised the gauntlet. Let's see if you're worth the inconvenience. The Power Stone flared. Purple energy erupted. Not a beam. A wave. Force that could crack planets washed over Goku. He stood there. Unmoved. The energy parted around him like water around a stone. Interesting, Thanos said. Your turn over? Goku asked. Then he moved, disappeared. Reappeared in front of Thanos. Fist drawn back. Punched. The impact echoed across the battlefield. Shockwave. Sonic boom. The ground beneath Thanos cracked in concentric circles. The Titan stumbled. Back 1 step. First time in a millennium someone had made him retreat. His eyes widened. You dare. Goku punched again. And again. Combination strikes. Each one carrying tons of force. Each one making Thanos give ground. The Mad Titan blocked with the gauntlet. Space Stone activated. Teleported behind Goku. Goku was already turning. Elbow strike. caught Thanos in the ribs. Armor cracked. "You're strong," Goku said. "Really strong? But those stones, you're relying on them too much. They are power incarnate," Thanos growled. "And he used them. All three at once." Space warped. Power surged. Soul energy reached for Goku's very essence. For a moment, just a moment, Goku's form flickered. His soul pulled partway from his body. He gasped. Actual pain crossing his features. Thanos smiled. "Ah. The stones do affect you." "Okay," Goku panted. "That hurt." "Good." Thanos pressed his advantage. Reality bent. Space collapsed. Power amplified every strike. The Titan fought with millennia of experience, enhanced by cosmic forces. Goku met him blow for blow, but he was taking damage. Not much. But some. The watching Avengers saw it. The impossible Saiyan, the one who'd caught missiles and tanked lightning, was actually struggling. "We need to help him," Steve said. "How?" Tony demanded. "This is beyond," Vision screamed. They turned. Corvus Glaive had his blade buried in Vision's chest. In the Mind Stone. Wanda tried to intervene, her powers flaring red, but Proxima hit her with the spear. "No!" Steve charged. The battle fragmented. Avengers against Black Order. Wakandans against Outriders. Thor engaging Cull Obsidian in combat that shattered earth and sky. And at the center, Goku versus Thanos. The Saiyan's aura flared. White gold. His hair flickered brown to gold to brown. "All right," he said quietly. "No more holding back." His power erupted. Super Saiyan. Golden hair. Green eyes. Energy that made the air scream. Thanos' eyes widened. "What?" Goku moved. Faster. Stronger. Beyond anything Thanos had predicted. Fist to face. Knee to gut. Combination strikes that blurred reality. The Titan reeled. Used the stones desperately. Space to dodge. Power to defend. Soul to stabilize. But Goku was relentless. Kamehameha. Blue energy. Massive. Concentrated. Point-blank range. The beam struck Thanos. Drove him backward. Carved a trench a mile long. The Titan skidded. Armor burning. Gauntlet glowing dangerously hot. He stood. Gasping. Bleeding. Stared at Goku. At this impossible warrior. And smiled. "Magnificent," he breathed. "Truly magnificent. You're exactly what I hoped for." "What?" "A challenge." Thanos straightened. A reason to go all out. He reached for his belt. Pulled something free. A fourth infinity stone. Reality. Glowing red? "No," Strange whispered from across the battlefield. "How did he?" Thanos installed it in the gauntlet. 4 stones. 4 aspects of creation. Reality warped. The battlefield changed. What had been grassland became a hell's cape. Gravity inverted. The sky turned crimson. Goku stumbled. The environment shifting beneath his feet. "Let's see how you handle this," Thanos said. He attacked. Not with fists. With reality itself. The ground became spikes. The air became acid. Space folded. Time hiccuped. Goku powered through. Breaking reality with raw power. But even his strength had limits. A spike caught his side. Tore through GI. Drew blood. Actual blood. "You can bleed," Thanos observed. "Good. I was worried this would be boring." Goku wiped the blood. Looked at it. Then grinned. "Now it's getting fun." He powered up further. Super Saiyan 2. Lightning dancing through his aura. The battle escalated. 2 titans. 4 infinity stones. 1 Saiyan warrior. Reality itself began to crack under the strain, and on the Sanctuary 2, sensors recorded everything. Every move. Every technique. Every weakness. Thanos was learning. That was the terrifying part. He was learning how to fight Goku, and when he finished learning, then the real battle would begin.